Martin Shkreli might be a terrible person and he might be a genius. It is very possible to be the same thing. A friend of mine wanted me to give my opinion on everything going on with the DJT token from Martin Shkreli. And I don't necessarily have that big of opinion, other than the fact that what you're seeing is a very artful form of what I believe to be is manipulation. Now, whether that's manipulation of, Trump's kid, Barron Trump, or just manipulation of us, crypto Twitter, the viewership, and people who might be interested in the token, because it is actually a very juicy story. Because one, you have Barron Trump, who is kind of been a mythological figure for a lot of people because he's out of the media. He's really tall, really quiet. If you remember about a year or two ago, we found Barron on TikTok and that was a big deal. And even people on the left were saying, oh, maybe we need to save Barron Trump, right, from Donald Trump and Melania. And just another example, by the way, of how narratives kind of take their own form. So it's the perfect storm because you have crypto as well. So the idea of a young kid like Barron launching his own token to support his father is pretty neat. And then you throw in somehow Martin Shkreli, who is known to be, I can't say corrupt. I mean, he went to prison. That's obvious. There was some corruption there, but I definitely think the feds also threw the book at him. Certainly not a moral person in the fact that, he raised drug prices by what was that, like 10,000x? I forget what the actual math was of one of those life-saving drugs that initially got him named Pharma Bro. So those three things mixing together kind of create this formula for a very interesting scenario. But where it gets sticky is you have Barron Trump's reputation on the line because this could be the first thing that he's really publicly a part of, which would be this DJT token. The big question is, did he do it without permission from, Trump's team, the campaign, or was he just trying to be his own independent person? If he was trying to be his own independent person, the psychological effects of this going wrong for him are going to be quite dire because now the people around him probably now have a reason to make sure that he's even watched closer and is unable to have close contact with a lot of his friends or groups of people, especially professionals, because now he can't be trusted by his father or his mother, which is really a shame if that is the case. The other case is that Martin was just very manipulative of a kid who is not even 22 and who probably thought that this token could be cool, could be fun, and didn't understand that the backlash it would create potentially cause havoc on the Trump campaign. Because what makes this dangerous is Barron is related to Trump. DJT could be a funding mechanism for the campaign. And so that could prompt some type of lawsuit or investigation. And for Trump and Melania, probably they are more scared than anything else than the Federal Elections Commission to go after their son as a way to hurt Trump, because there is nothing I think the Democratic Party would like more than to target Trump's youngest son. And I think that would very much really hurt Trump and his family. So that's why I think this token is probably a little bit more serious than a lot of crypto Twitter is thinking. It's not just a scam, right? This is actually a potential avenue for Democrats to go after the Trump family. And that is probably why Barron Trump had to go silent. Because if there was any FEC violation and they were able to probe Barron Trump, who is now a legal adult, things could get pretty hairy pretty quickly. And I don't think anyone wants to see Barron Trump go through that. I think Martin Shkreli should have known that. He probably did know that. He should have known the potential election consequences of what Barron Trump could have been doing. And I think that he is then using that for leverage to pump up and keep DJT in the Twitterverse longer. So it's not the best situation. If anything, it's very unfortunate. I think it still kind of makes Martin look like a terrible person, although his reputation, as he says, is on the line. The reputation that he has on the line is still from a kid, right, who just maybe turned 18, just graduated high school, does not know any better, and does not necessarily understand how any action that he creates could open up an avenue for him to get completely wrecked and potentially hurt his father's presidential run. Martin knows all of that. There's no way he doesn't know all of that. And so that still kind of leaves some of the blame on him. But regardless of who's to blame and what's to blame, the interesting thing is the story that this creates and the possibilities of not only using meme tokens to create narratives and stories and maybe even fund campaigns if that was successful. But what you're seeing is kind of the way crypto could be used in the future as long as it remains unregulated as it is today. And I'm not calling for regulation, I'm not calling for deregulation, but tokens measure emotion. Tokens and memetics measure ideas. What you're now seeing is Martin Shkreli and the DJT token and Barron Trump turn this token into a meme now, which maybe that creates value, maybe it doesn't. But once it becomes a meme and this becomes a story, it has to drive itself. And I think that's what started to happen. And that's why even as I'm making this video right now, Martin Shkreli is on a space defending some of his track record with the DJT token. So hopefully that's some useful perspective for you guys. There's not much more that I have to say about the scenario other than I'm going to have a fun time seeing where this lands. And I'm enjoying the hype train as more and more information is released slowly over time, almost like that's on purpose.